This is a story of how I broke up with the church. So I've always had this very difficult relationship with organized religion, specifically the church and specifically the Catholic Church. So like many people, I didn't have any say in the matter. I was baptized when I was a child. Parents wanted me to get baptized, so I started going to church. I had no idea what I was doing. And bear in mind, this was back in a time when there was no such thing as multimedia presentations in church, let alone music that sounded like it was from this century. So as a kid, imagine how boring it was to sit through, I think it was about an hour and a half, 90 minutes of really boring stuff. So I was always really restless as a child in church. I'll be running here and there. I was very naughty. My parents couldn't really control me. And there was this really memorable time that I got into a fight at the ripe old age of 10 years old with two older boys in the church compound during the church service. So before things got too violent, an adult stopped us. But I'm sure I could have beat them up. I mean, I was a lot taller back then. It's really a lot taller. So at 13 years old, my parents decided to stop going to church. And obviously I couldn't drive, so I stopped going as well. I was really happy about that. But it wasn't until the age of 22, I would say, about a decade of not going to church, I reignited my relationship with the Catholic Church, because I started a relationship with a guy who was from a very religious family, very Catholic, very Catholic. So I had to be the Catholic girlfriend. I started going to Mass regularly. I read the Bible. I did everything I was supposed to do. But throughout this time, I only really half believed what I was reading and what I was listening to. I think God knew. He knew I was a fraud. He knew I was a fraud. So after the relationship imploded with this guy, broke up, I continued my relationship with the church. Because that's what people do in a crisis. You turn to God, you pray, you beg for God to fix things, fix this relationship. And it was during this time that I was in Penang. I was on a holiday. I wanted to clear my head, and I was there alone. My hostel was across the street, right in the middle of Georgetown, across the street from this beautiful church, the Church of the Assumption. It's this beautiful, white, European-style church. Right? So get the image in your head. Really beautiful church, got the steeples and everything. And it was Palm Sunday. I was really lazy. It was like, it was really early in the morning. I don't really want to go, but Catholic guilt is a real thing. It's like Catholic, guilt, I have to go to church. And it's just there, It's just there. So I did go. I ended up going to church. And I sat right at the back of the church. The last row. Not because I was afraid or that people would start talking to me. Because Catholics, the best thing about Catholics, they mind their own business. Seriously, it's the best thing. No one talks to you. No one tries to hug you. No one's trying to shake your hand. No one's trying to say where you're from. It's the best thing. Everyone minds their own business. So I minded my own business as well. I was sitting there, listening, or trying not to sleep, and I just felt like I felt really unwell. It became worse and worse and worse. I was breaking out in cold sweat. I was feeling nauseous. I was like, something is wrong, What's wrong? But I didn't want to be rude and run out in the middle of service. Until I just could not tahan anymore. I just couldn't tahan anymore. I ran out of the church, and just as I reached the front steps of that beautiful church, that elegant, stately step of stone steps, I threw up. I threw up that morning's Milo. I threw up what looked like the eggs from breakfast as well, and probably a lot of last night's dinner and supper, char kway teow and all that. And I was alone. I didn't know what to do. Fortunately, the only witness to my humiliation was this father and his little baby daughter, who were like looking. And for some reason, being the very polite, well-raised Catholic girl I was, my first instinct was to say, sorry. I'm going to clean this up. So the only thing that I had with me was this little 500ml bottle of mineral water, and I emptied the contents onto my vomit. It didn't do much good, really. It didn't do much good. So I took that bottle, I went to the nearest tap that I could find, and started going back and forth, pouring water, because I was really worried that people would start coming out of church and see this huge mess. And then I just did my best. It wasn't very good, my best wasn't very good, the mess was still there, but I decided that the best plan of action was to run. Just leave the crime scene as fast as I could before anyone saw me. And so after that, after that incident, I concluded that God was trying to tell me something. The church was trying to tell me something. I was kind of unworthy, so they not so subtly asked me to leave. It was not a subtle hit. They really ejected me out of the church onto the front steps and made me throw up, just for good measure. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the story of how I broke up with the Catholic Church.